Welcome everybody to our September 3rd Brigantine City Council meeting. Please rise for the flag salute.
Under God, indivisible.
Standing for our Deputy Mayor, Karen Pugh, leads us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, as a new school year begins, we lift up every child in our community. You know each one by name, their struggles, their hopes, and their dreams. We ask you to cover them with your protection. Bless their teachers and school staff with compassion and wisdom, and help them to nurture the light within each student. Let this school year be filled with stability, growth, and joy. Remind every child that they are deeply loved, valued, and capable. Encourage them that their story is still being written and their future is held in your faithful hands. In your name we pray.
Christine, can you read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement? Up next, we have a presentation from Green Whales Inc. on the 2025 triathlon. So I will turn it over to you guys. So we got the Green Whale here.
I have one more kid that's gonna run in here to get in the picture because everybody else is starting school activities. But we just want to thank you guys. I think it was the best year yet. We gave the check last week, but this year the tri made $23,526.15 for the city. I'm gonna let that guy do the pictures. If you want to come down and take some pictures with them, that would be amazing. Oh, good, perfect. They see they're all running in. Hey, I'm sorry. One more time.
Whale in, like that, whale.
No, I'm good. I'm all right. I don't feel it. I'm not. Yeah.
All right.
And I just want to thank everybody from Green Whales Inc.
Thank you very
Before
much.
you guys go.
Thank you, guys.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. I think one of the best decisions the city ever made was having Green Whales Inc. run the triathlon. It's been very, very successful. And I know this year, above all others, we got a ton of compliments on how well it ran, how great the event was, how helpful all the volunteers were. So thank you so much for all that you make this event a great success. Thank you. Bye. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Tiger, do we have an executive session tonight?
Yes, Mayor, we do have executive session, contract negotiations.
All right, perfect. Christine, can you read the resolution? Gotcha. we have a motion second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, seeing none, motion passed. We'll be back by about 10 or 15 minutes.
Am I allowed on this side of the aisle?
All right, we have a motion and second to resume the meeting.
Make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, we're going to resume our meeting. George, can you summarize?
As noted, contract negotiations were discussed, no action this evening. Likely action.
Next up, we have our approval of our August 20th, 2025 council meeting minutes. A motion and second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Our approval of our bill requisition list, we have a motion and second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Next up, we have public comment. This is on agenda items only. Anybody wishing to be heard, please come up and state your name and address for the record. Seeing no public comment, close the public portion.
Nothing new, no business, right?
New business is at the end. It's current resolutions is right now.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to close the public portion at this time. Next up, we have Resolution 2025-196, and this is a resolution authorizing tax refunds for overpayments. And this is on Schedule A. We have a motion and second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-197, this is a resolution authorizing a contract for an airman diesel air compressor with Winslow Rental in the amount of $25,590. We have a motion second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-198, this is a resolution authorizing a contract for exhaust fan replacement at Sheridan Pump B with Northeast Electrical at GC Services in the amount of $7,998.25. And motion second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-199, this is a resolution authorizing a contract with Northeast Electrical and GC Services for the installation of pole barn lights at pump station number 5 in the amount of $16,856.41. The motion second.
I'll make that motion.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-200, this is a resolution authorizing a refund of $336 to Comfort Now for the withdrawal of an issued HVAC permit. We have a motion second.
So moved.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-201, this is a resolution authorizing a contract with Palestine and Associates for planning, permitting, and design for proposed replacement well and well house for well 5 in the amount of $67,750. We have a motion second.
Make that motion.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Resolution 2025-202. This is a resolution authorizing a contract with Cerebrino Architects for architectural services related to the improvements to the rowing club building in the amount of $35,000. We have a motion second. So moved. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Next up, we have our consent agenda. We have the Riptide Fall Derby. We have a motion second. Second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, we have roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Next up, we have our council manager committee discussions. Tiger, anything for us?
Thank God for Public Works. We would have been able to cancel this meeting without the resolution. All Public Works. Thank you, John. I just want to bring up the great job that Blake Morgan and the Food Truck Festival did. We had to call an audible at the last minute on that with Hurricane Erin, changed the plans, flooded the beach. The team, we all got together and we decided Hahnemann Park was the best place for it. And we had a debrief today of the event, and the sales were up very well compared to last year. And we've heard nothing but great things about having it at Hahnemann Park. And the plan going forward is to continue keeping it at Hahnemann Park and expand on that. So going forward next year, we will discuss some other things about it. But yeah, so thank you for everybody that participated. It was a hugely successful event having it this year at Hahnemann.
Tiger, I got a lot of compliments about it. And people, they thought one, it was easier to park, but two, a lot of people might have had beach that became a challenge for the city. They said it was much easier in Hahnemann Park. I know a lot of the families just kind of hung out. So we have some future plans there that me and John have discussed to do a couple more things. Yes, we would like to utilize more.
I'd just like to thank police, fire, public works, and beach patrol for an outstanding summer of keeping our residents and visitors safe. It was just an awesome and outstanding summer. I'd also like to thank all of our business community for welcoming our visitors and providing us all with smiles and friendly greetings. And our Chamber of Commerce did an outstanding job of offering events for everybody to enjoy. The golf course had a record-breaking summer. A lot of good things coming there, and also the farmers market has one more week to go, and they report after having a couple of rainy Saturdays early on in the season, it was just phenomenal. Last weekend, it looked like Disney World. It was great, and just happy performance ball.
Here to news comments and particularly Public service departments, police, fire, public works, speed control. Thanks for all you do. Trade you guys for the work. Okay. Karen, that was a beautiful prayer. It's upcoming school year. Lots of kids, right? Children, teachers, parents, everybody is associated with their school system administration. Just say that the weather is fantastic. Hurricane Erin just kind of blew out a big old high pressure system. We had beautiful weather for the last couple of weeks, so I hope everybody that. And outside of Hurricane Erin, they summer as best possible, and everybody has nice fall. So what means quite we still technically have summer left. Thank you. Thank you. A lot, just amazing summer. I hate to constantly say this, but it was the busiest summer I've seen ever. Now, and I seem like I say that Fourth of July, not summer, but business did fantastic. I think everyone did great, and it's only as good as the people that set it up for it. So, administration, police, fire, John Dory's team, absolutely outstanding. So, but, well, short fall. First, most coach. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion.
I want to thank them, Police, Fire, Public Works for great efforts during the hurricane, and the mayor was down on Seawolf from 3:30 until midnight.
It
So,
was dry at 3:30,
Yeah.
and by 6 o'clock, he was
right,
wet.
so, yeah,
Great stuff.
dynamite. So thanks a lot for everything you did over Labor Day and keep things orderly. There's a lot coming up in the next 2 weeks. Well, actually starting on September 6th, we have Jaws on the Beach. Jaws on the Beach at 6 p.m. Movie starts at 7 p.m. Call me if you want to know location. After that, we have a lot going on the following weekend. Of course, one of the biggest things is the 9th Annual Police Foundation Cornhole Tournament, which is always excellent. I recommend just going down there and be a part of it. Support the Police Foundation. That starts at 9 a.m. on the beach down there at 30th Street or somewhere down there. Yeah. And then on Saturday night, September 13th, so you can play cornhole all day. Saturday night at 6 p.m. we have our bonfire on the beach. Okay, that starts at 7. We'll get together at 6. We'll be toasting marshmallows and all that stuff. All right. Then on the first tailgate party for the Eagles is on Sunday. And that's a 4:25 game, so that's going to be right in front of the Scala. So that's always a wonderful time. The weather's going to be awesome. They're playing the Chiefs. So Councilman Haney said he's going to organize a Swiftie section. If you want to go down there with Councilman Haney, go in the Taylor Swift section. Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate that. And then that's it. October 5th is the next tailgate after that. So that's all I have for now. If you have any questions or any other concerns, my number's on the front page of Brigantine Time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I want to say, like, I don't think any other governing body in the country has as much fun. I think this summer was probably one of our best, and a big part of that was, big part of that is really credit of how hard all of our city departments work. You know, every year we get busier and busier. Every year there's new challenges, and every year it's our employees who step up to solve problems and make this town as successful as we can be. And it's something that we're very proud of. You know, people ask me all the time, because I do this, I'm also a full-time teacher. Class all the time. I do work with this. How this works. Had an opportunity to meet with Congressman Van Drew and with all of the South Jersey mayors and community leaders, as well as the Army Corps of Engineers and New Jersey DEP. Perfect timing on the meeting. It was right on the backs of Hurricane Erin. And, you know, one of the biggest issues was beach erosion. We probably around the area of the promenade, probably lost 2 to 3 feet of sand. Talking to some of the towns south of us, they lost 8 to 12 feet of sand. Some of the towns, like it's like a 12-foot drop from their dunes down to the beach. Like I feel like we're very fortunate. It wasn't as bad. The other big issue for a lot of towns was flooding. We had some minor flooding, but there's some towns that the fire department actually had to evacuate people from restaurants, even died in the streets. And really, over the last 15 years, the city has really worked hard on flood mitigation. And you can see that it's really having a huge impact because our flooding on this island is very, very. What was good too is one of the big things I wanted to talk about, and I actually got to meet with one of the deputy directors of the DEP, was extending the promenade. We need some type of protection in that area. And this is something we've been trying to work on with the state for a while. The DEP says they have an interest in putting some type of flood barrier system there. The project has just been stalled. So to have an opportunity, one, to bring it up with all of the mayors and talk about that issue, but also to talk with decision makers in this project. The one deputy commissioner I had the opportunity to meet with, told her I was down there at Hurricane Erin, took pictures, I have video. You can see where the end of the promenade comes around, there's a little detention wall that's already washing through. And I said, look, I know there's a lot of people who brought up projects in this room. This project is you have one more major storm, it's gone, detention wall's not going. And I think those holes are missing. And the deputy commissioner said, send me the email, send me the video, send me the pictures, and send me the information you guys already have from us on the project to see if we can get this project moving or at least do something temporary until we can get it. So I think it was really good that the Congressman was able to bring all of this together and also bring decision makers together. Sometimes things get lost in bureaucracy. You send messages between decisions, and having the opportunity to talk with you in person is big. The other thing they're starting to look at is the idea of putting what they call hard structures out in the ocean. We call them jetties. I learned from the Army Corps that what we call jetties, they call groins. And I said, look, I believe you. I said, we're going to put this thing out there. We're going to call it a jetty. You're going to call it a groin. Everybody's going to be happy. So they laugh. But they want to take a look at that. We've been advocating for that for about a decade. I've had multiple meetings. And really what I think we need is low profile jetties. If we put like a real jetty like the south end, what'll happen is where we put that jetty, sand will stack up on the north side. It'll actually rob sand on the south side. And that was something I had the opportunity to talk with the Army Corps about, to say, like, you need something, I call it a strainer. But when we had the old Brigantine Castle there, the Brigantine Castle used to knock down the crane. I'm not saying put Brigantine Castle back. But I think the people who live there will have pitchforks at my house. So.
Bring it back.
But when we had that pier there, it actually used to slow down the current. When you slow down the current, it actually drops sand and holds sand in place. So I talked about those experiences, talked about here on the island. They're going to do a year-long study, not just of Brigantine, but they're looking at the entire East Coast. This is a major issue up and down the entire East Coast. They said the only state that has more sand pumped than New Jersey is Florida. So we are number 2 on the entire East Coast for beach replenishments. So they want to look at if hard structures would make a major impact of holding sand in place. And that could be jetties, groins, wave breaks, anything. They want to study that. They also want to look at the unintended consequences of that. They've done some tests in some other towns. Some of these hard structures have worked really well, and some of them have failed miserably. They said they really don't know why. And they think the characteristics of each area and each island is different. So they want to look at what they need to do to make sure that whatever decision they make makes sense. One, in the sense that it's going to help, and two, in the sense they have to look at the cost benefit. If they have to do hard structures, and I'm not talking about like protective like we do on land, but out in the ocean. If they have to do hard structures out in the ocean, the entire East Coast, it very well may be cheaper for them to continue to pump sand. So that's what they want to make that determination. I would say the federal government moves big, but it moves slow. And sometimes it's good that it moves slow because you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. One of the big questions everybody had, because you see this in the media, is that the federal government or the president, they had claimed that the federal government or the president removed beach funding. It's actually not accurate, and a lot of us didn't know this. The beach replenishment money comes from a couple different sources. It comes from earmarks, it comes from Sandy money, and it comes from the transportation and infrastructure bill that was passed a couple years ago. What's happening is all of that money is starting to run out, but there's no money specifically dedicated for these projects. One of the things that Congressman Van Drew is working on is getting legislation on the federal level that would put a specific line item in the federal budget for beach nourishment, beach replenishment, use hard structures, protection, because this way there will be dedicated money. One of the things that's happening is there's only 4 dredge companies, I think, in the entire country that do these kind of projects. And because there's only 4, the prices are very, very high. Their hope is that if they can have dedicated funding in there, you might have more companies start up, because then there's a better opportunity at making the company succeed. And with more competition, might bring prices back under control. So this is what they're working on the federal level. And I think this is where a lot of our second homeowners are going to be very important, because obviously we're all here at Brigantine and Van Drew's in favor of this, but we need a lot of members of Congress to support this. And we're going to be reaching out to our second homeowners who live in obviously other parts of New Jersey, who live in Pennsylvania, who live in Delaware, who live in New York, to put pressure on their members of Congress to try to get this passed. Congressman Van Drew said this is going to be a heavy lift, but he thinks if we all pull together that this is something we can get done. And I think it's something that's definitely needed. We're all going to stay in contact. I have the direct contact now for some of these decision makers in the different agencies. So this will hopefully open up a direct line of communications. So at the very least, we can keep these projects moving, not get stalled in bureaucracy, and kind of get real answers and real information back and forth. And I would say this is how government's supposed to work. At that meeting, it was a mix of people on both sides of the aisle. And that's one of the things Van Drew said. This isn't about party, this is about service. And that's really how government should work. So I want to give everybody an update on that. We will keep everybody posted as we move forward. And like I said, this was a big first step. I think it's going to be great for the city of Brigantine. All right, this time we're going to open it up for public comment. Anybody wishing to be heard, please come up and state your name and address for the record.
Hello. Hi. My name is Wayne Aki. I live at 403 Bayshore. So my comment concern, I would like to get some advice on how we might make Bayshore Avenue a little safer by the boat ramp. Okay, I live there and we see the activity. I would argue that is probably the busiest pedestrian crossing in Brigantine. If you live there, you see boaters, fine. You see the families, kids, dogs, strollers, fishing rods. On the weekends, streaming back and forth with boats coming in and out. We've got nobody there to help direct traffic, like zero. I mean, and it can't be 24 hours, but 4th of July, who said you couldn't move? Wouldn't that make sense to have at least an officer, maybe one of those officers at, I don't know, the farmer's market every week that helps people cross because it's a busy intersection. So my wife Karen and I are concerned. I mean, we've seen there's a bicycle accident collision a couple weeks ago. It's busy. So we spent our own money and put out some crosswalk cones, the same type you have on the boulevard. And they worked. People slow down with anybody even being in that crosswalk. But when people stepped in, just like there's other crosswalks, some people slow down and stop, some people don't, but none of them do now. And obviously we can't just put stuff in the street willy-nilly and that removed, which is, okay. But how do we go about? It's a dangerous intersection. And I happen to notice in the minutes of the meeting last week, there's a $91,000, $500 contract awarded to the Colliers Engineering and Design. And part of the scope of the contract, I don't have the whole thing, so I just have read the meeting, says planning and design improvement of Bayshore Avenue, intersection improvements at 10th Street South. That's the Yacht Club, which does have a crosswalk. They do have a crosswalk sign. And then the 5th and 6th Street South intersections, which are on Bayshore. 5th Street is the one that's directly across from the boat ramp. So I didn't really notice until I did this research, but I would like to find out if that is in the scope of that contract for them to study that. That would be great. But if it's not, that might be something that could be added as long as they're there. Because I see they've started. I saw a guy with spray painting, whatever they do. I'm not an engineer. But at any rate, I just want to address, I think it's a safety concern there. The activity there it's a lot. And we know that because we live there and we see it. So that's what I like to do, and I'd like some suggestions on how we might be able to make that stretch a little safer. That and sunsets. The sunset activity is big too. So it's more than just boaters.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we actually started to recognize the same issue. That's part of what we're working on
Okay.
Bayshore, those two areas.
Perfect.
But I'm actually gonna have our city manager bring you up to speed on what.
Yeah, so we were awarded a grant to do pedestrian crosswalks at 5th and Bayshore, and also at the Yacht Club at Bayshore. So right now that contract that you were just referencing, the engineers are going out there to start designing all that.
Okay.
But we're looking to put the lit up sign, so people push a button and it flashes. So
Okay, that's a good one.
it alerts people because there's a curve there right past 6th Street.
That
if
whole
you're
thing's
heading
crazy.
south.
Nobody stops at a stop sign.
Right.
That's a yield.
But we're also looking to redesign that little triangle there. So traffic entering onto West Evans from Bayshore, it will become a one-way. So when people are coming from, say, the school area heading south on West Evans,
Okay.
they're going to have to turn onto 5th Street and make a left onto Bayshore. They won't be able to go into that weird triangle there.
Well, we walk our dog. We call that no man's land.
Yeah. So that no man's
That's
land,
what we call it.
we're trying to do away with that. So that's all going to be part of this
Okay.
design.
All right. Good. I
We're gonna
wasn't.
redesign that whole little area right
I didn't have the scope. I just had
Yeah.
the mention. So okay, great. I'm glad it's in the works.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you.
Put the
No,
mailbox.
thank you for coming in.
At the mailbox.
Well, the next way, it'll be one way. I guess the mailbox could still stay there. It'll just be one way coming from Bayshore onto West Evans.
Okay.
I don't think it should affect the triangle's going to remain. It's just going to expand out a little bit. So people can't come from like the school on West Evans and go into that weird space. They're going to now turn, make a right on 5th and then a left on Bayshore.
Tricia Cosgrove, 211th Street North. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here to talk about the 2026 Polar Bear Plunge. Hey, it's a little early, I know, but guess what? This year, it's on a Thursday. And when it's on a Thursday, we have Christmas, and everybody comes down for that and stays for the plunge, and then they stay till Sunday. So we have a 10-day business explosion economically for Brigantine. And the second thing is that Brigantine's 100th birthday with the fire and the police, works and the lifeguards is also happening this year. Coincidentally, Fisher House just built their 100th Fisher House. So they've called and said, can we do something for you guys this year to acknowledge your birthday, your centennial celebration, and also to do the plunge? And I said, well, let me go ask. And I'm asking a little early, but do I have permission to proceed?
We would love to celebrate the Fisher House, and all of our city departments on the anniversary.
Okay. But we have a huge year
We have a
because
very big
it's
year.
Thursdays are big.
I
So,
think-
thank
is it,
you.
Police and
Police?
beach patrol are this year, fires next year, right? What
Yes,
about public works? I said you guys are like 150.
27.
27? Okay,
So we're going to cluster.
we're gonna cluster everybody together. Absolutely. Cheers. Thank
All
you
right,
so
thank you
much.
very much. Thank you.
We had a great year and all you guys are responsible for that, so thank you very much. And I apologize, I forgot my blue blazer.
And Dave and Tricia, thank you for all the volunteer work you do for Fisher House and everything else, and we appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
John Johnson, 36 Coquille Beach Drive. I would just like to echo thanking our chiefs of the departments and the beach patrol. What I seen, and I'm out and about a lot, just doing an extra good job. And I wanted to thank Mark Virgilio. I had talked to him a couple times about Pepper Cove. That's an outstanding finished product there. We ought to have a picture of that somewhere so people see what a great job it was. And hopefully we'll get some more sand someday, but I know it's a long, slow process. Thank you all.
Pepper Cove looks great, yeah.
Doesn't it? Oh, man,
We could go.
should be a picture of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, John.
So, close the public portion. Any final council comments?
See everybody next month, Saturday.
Hope everybody has a great school year. So enjoy your school year. I know Brigantine schools just went back today, so. All right, if there's no final comments, we have a motion and second to adjourn the meeting.
Make that motion.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none,